Welcome to the VoiceBox channel. Today, we're unpacking the origin of music notation and how it relates to singers today. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you'd like to receive notifications when I post videos every week. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the origin of music notation is because I'm in the process of preparing for my music history competency exam for my master's in music at New England Conservatory. So in order to get into my proper classes, I have to take a competency exam. And tonight I was studying for music history, and I'm doing that by reviewing a history of Western music. There we go. My history of Western music by Watercolor and et al. And the reason why I kind of stopped on this subject is because I've heard a lot of talk recently about singers making excuses for not knowing their notes because maybe a piano wasn't operating correctly and couldn't be used for rehearsal or whatnot. And I think that that's something that really is prevalent in the singer culture, especially the amateur singer culture, where they consider themselves maybe non-musicians because they don't read music or they don't have an interest in reading music. And I'd like to just make a statement that I don't believe that anyone is less of a musician because they don't necessarily read music. I think that oral translation, right, where maybe I sing a melody to somebody and they sing it back to me and they're learning it, is a totally acceptable mode of learning music. And we have done that since the beginning of time, basically. And that's really important to understand. Just because somebody is a non-music reader doesn't make them any less of a musician. But I do believe that singers should own this particular part of our music history, and that is where the origin of music notation came from. And I think it's really cool because basically what Burkholder et al. Says in A History of Western Music is that music notation was originally for singers. It was made so that singers could sing a melody with words without having heard it before. And that's a pretty remarkable thing, right? To take something that's oral and to be able to produce it by reading something on a piece of paper. That's really, really remarkable. And I think that that's an important thing to know, especially for singers. And I think we should own that history. There was a man named Guido of Arezzo, and he lived at the end of the 900s, beginning of the 1000s, basically, beginning of the thousands. And he devised a system of lines and spaces that could be used to read music. So here's a quotation from A History of Western Music. With his notation, Guido demonstrated that a singer could learn a verse himself without having heard it beforehand, simply by reading the notes. This achievement was as crucial for the history of Western music as the invention of writing was for the history of language and literature. That's pretty important, right? To be able to produce something from a page that was according to the composer's intent or the original authors of the music intent. I think that that's super important. And it's part of what we do as vocalists today, right? We take something that either we wrote or somebody else wrote, and we replicate it in a way that honors the composition. And written music is really important for that process, right? If we don't write it down, especially, right? Anyone who's ever written a song, a singer-songwriter, any of those people out here, will know and will tell you that when you conceive of a melody in your head with its specific rhythmic intention and melodic intention, it's easy for that melody to kind of slip away if we don't write it down quickly. And imagine hundreds of years of people singing melodies and having it change and having it evolve. And that's awesome. But what if you actually really care about the original intent of your song and you want it to be sung a specific way? Well, with music notation, you have that ability to, even you can send your song miles away and have it be sung by somebody in a different country in the way that you intended it to be. And I think that that's very powerful. And for vocalists especially, we should be really proud of our musical heritage, that music notation was written originally for us. And that is so important that we know that and that we understand it and we understand why it's important for us to learn the language of music. Thanks for watching. Now go sing.